Now I'm going to turn this over to Ensign Highland.
Because you have it on
To
TV.
your mistress of ceremonies today.
Welcome to the Chief Petty Officer's pinning ceremony. I am Ensign Erica Highland, also a Sea Cadet Chief Petty Officer, retired, and will be your mistress of ceremonies for the pinning ceremony. Please feel free to take pictures at any time. Chief Selectee, front and center. Parade rest. The Chief Selectee is Cadet Imani Davis of Norwich, Connecticut. She joined the Navy Lee Cadet Corps training ship Nathan Hale on 1 December 2011 at the age of 10, then transferred to Nautilus SSN 571 Division of the Naval Sea Cadet Corps on 13 April 2014. She completed Sea Cadet recruit training at Fort Devens, Massachusetts in 2014. For advanced trainings, she has completed emergency medicine seminar at Naval Station Newport, firefighting damage control first aid at Massachusetts Maritime Academy, field operations, earned the emergency medical technician certification over the course, and she has staffed at NLCC Recruit Orientation New England twice, and most recently as the leading petty officer. She has served in Nautilus SSN 571 Division as a section leader, the Chief Master at Arms, and as a leading petty officer. Aside from playing an instrument and being a member of various ensembles, she volunteers at various organizations outside of Sea Cadets and has been awarded the Certificate of Recognition for the same by the Shiloh Prison Ministry of New London, Connecticut. She holds a regular part-time job and maintains excellent grades in school. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you here today to witness a Navy tradition that has been performed for over 100 years. You will not just be present for the advancement of a cadet to a first-class petty officer to the next higher rate, but also share in the most significant transition that she will ever make in her Sea Cadet career. At this time, I would like to introduce Lieutenant Commander Stephanie Highland, Commanding Officer, Nautilus SSN 571 Division, U.S. Naval Sea Cadet Corps. Commander.
I do thank you all for coming and sharing in this momentous occasion. About 1% of Sea Cadets actually attain the rate of Chief Petty Officer, so it is indeed a very momentous occasion. The further a cadet gets into high school, the harder it gets to maintain good grades, play a sport, participate in extracurricular activities like band or other school clubs, and community service, and sometimes they even handle a part-time job or maintain a car. Add on top of that the requirements for Sea Cadets and family responsibilities, and it makes for a very busy life, to say the least. Cadet Davis is also involved in many activities. She has learned to manage her time and to achieve goals she sets for herself. Junior cadets can learn from the example that Cadet Davis has set. Cadet Davis, I am proud of you. As you move forward, take what you have learned and pass it on no matter where you go.
Thank you, Commander Highland. The United States Navy is richly steeped in traditions and ceremonies, most of which are unique only to the Navy and no other armed force of the United States. Traditions the U.S. Naval Sea Cadet Corps strives to teach its cadets. Unlike other branches of the military, the Navy has ceremonies for many events, including retirement from naval service, change of commands, ship commissionings, graduation from recruit training, as well as the pinning ceremony for new chiefs, a tradition that the Naval Sea Cadet Corps follows as well. Traditions in the Navy dictate the way we come aboard or leave a ship, or even greet one another. It describes how we relieve the watch, begin and end each day, and guides much of the routine in between. Naval traditions are the best part of our past that we preserve in ceremonies and customs, from the routine to the spectacular. Naval traditions are they are preserved because they link us with unique and memorable aspects of our seafaring and warfighting history. We define our traditions and safeguard them from perversion or abuse. We ensure that traditions are not practiced in ways which are inconsistent with our core values of honor, courage, and commitment. And we must ensure that they are preserved. Honoring tradition ensures that our pride is not shallow, self-centered, or focused on individual accomplishments, but is instead anchored in the institutional strengths of the Navy or Naval Sea Cadet Corps. Such pride is invigorating and empowering. It is embedded in our core values. Honoring our tradition is not about looking back at the past. It is about remembering the tradition of the Chief Petty Officer transition, which is an established and crucial rite of passage. Each Sea Cadet Chief has reached that point in his or her training where they are teaching leadership, establishing esprit de corps, promoting unity, and encouraging teamwork to junior cadets. As the transition is completed, we can rest assured that a deeper understanding of our traditions, our heritage, and our values will continue in the next generation. Today, you will witness the ceremony where Cadet Jagadil recently selected, we have a typo, where Cadet Imani Davis, recently selected to the rank of Chief Petty Officer, will be pinned with the insignia of her new rank. This ceremony culminates in the weeks of training, assignments, and hard work. The Chief is required to be a fountain of wisdom, the ambassador of goodwill, and the authority on personnel relations, as well as the technical expert. Even she standing before you now is not fully aware and has not yet begun to grasp the significance of the tasks, responsibilities, and the challenges that will lay before her in the future. To her, I will now give a synopsis of what the Chief's job will entail. She is charged with motivating junior cadets, yet no one can motivate anyone else. I can threaten to extra-military instruction and get a cadet to do something, but that is not motivation, that is fear. It is the Chief's job to create an atmosphere where motivation is encouraged and rewarded. Motivation comes from within. It is the Chief's job to figure out how to get it out. It is the Chief's job to train and develop subordinates, to develop them into leaders. The Chief is the key to success of the mission, and is the Chief who must solve problems. A good Chief and a good leader will ensure his or her cadets have the tools needed to perform the tasks that are required, will accept responsibility when a job is not performed well, yet remain silent as a good job is being rewarded. These traits alone will establish trust in those they will lead. To the Chief Selectee I say, do not be afraid to stand up for what is right or challenge something you know is wrong. Show courage, pick your battles wisely. You will never have all the answers, but you will never fix the problem if you do not try. Rely on your fellow chiefs to help you. Commit yourself now to making a difference in the life of a cadet. A great chief does not earn his or her anchors once, but earns them every day. It is no longer about you, but about those you lead and guide. Finally, never forget those people who worked for you to get entry into the most exclusive fraternity on earth, the fraternity of the Naval Sea Cadet Chief Petty Officers. It is their sweat that got you here, and you owe them for it. The chiefs made you, and they can break you if you refuse to perform as a team. Commit yourself to being a leader. If you're in charge, take charge. Remember who you are about to become. Wear the anchors with pride and behave in a way that will always protect them from any stain or dishonor. You are about to join the ranks of the Sea Cadet Chief Petty Officer and those who have gone before you. Everyone serving in the Navy today is a sailor, from the newest recruit to the most senior admiral. Everyone is your shipmate. However, only a few are selected to the rank of Chief Petty Officer. As you have heard, the Chief's prestige, responsibility, and importance is unlike any found in the other armed forces. Our commitment can be best stated in the reading of the Chief's Creed. Will all Master Chiefs, Senior Chiefs, and Chiefs please rise for the reading of the Chief's Creed and the Chief's Pledge. The Chief's Creed will be read by Chief Petty Officer Jack Adil. Chief Adil, front and center.
During the course of your time in the Naval Sea Cadet Corps, you have been caused to humbly accept challenge and face adversity. This you have accomplished with rare good grace. Pointless as some of these challenges may have seemed, they were valid. Time-honored reasons behind each pointed part. It was necessary to meet these hurdles with blind faith in the fellowship of Chief Petty Officers. This goal was to instill in you that trust is inherent with the donning of the uniform of a chief. It was our intent to impress upon you that challenge is good, a great and necessary reality which cannot mar you, which in fact strengthens you. In your future as a Chief Petty Officer, you will be forced to endure adversity far beyond that imposed upon you today. You must face each challenges and adversity with the same dignity and good grace you demonstrated today. By experience, by performance, and by testing, you have been this day advanced in Chief Petty Officer in the Naval Sea Cadet Corps and as in the United States and Coast Guard. The rank of Chief Petty Officer carries with the unique responsibilities and privileges you are now bound to observe and expected to fulfill. Your entire way of life is now changed. More will be expected of you. More will be demanded of you. Not because you are in E7, but because you are now a Chief Petty Officer. You have not merely been promoted one grade. You have joined an exclusive fellowship, and as in all fellowships, you have a special responsibility to take your comrades, even as they have a special responsibility to you. This is why we in the United States Naval Sea Cadet Corps may maintain with pride our feelings of accomplishment once we have obtained the position of Chief Petty Officer. Your new responsibilities and privileges do not appear in print. They have an official standing. They cannot be referred to by name, number, nor file. Chiefs before you have freely accepted responsibility beyond the call of printed assignment. Their actions and their performance demanded the respect of their seniors as well as their juniors. It is now required that you be the fountain of wisdom, the ambassador of goodwill, the authority in personal relations as well as in technical application. Ask the chief is a phrase in and out of the Sea Cadet Corps. You are now the chief. The exalted position you have now achieved, and the word exalted is used advisedly, exists because of the attitude and performances of the chiefs before you. It shall exist only as long as you and your fellow chiefs maintain these standards. It is our intention that you never forget this day. It is our intention to test you and try you and to accept you. Your performance has assured it's that you will wear the hats with the same pride as your comrades in arms before you. We take a deep and sincere pleasure in clasping your hand and accepting you as a Chief Petty Officer of the United States Naval Sea Cadet.
MM3 SS Edward Chartier, also Naval Sea Cadet Chief Petty Officer retired, will now read the Chief Petty Officer's Pledge, modified for the Naval Sea Cadet Corps.
Chief Select, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I am a Chief Petty Officer
I am a Chief Petty Officer
in the United States Naval Sea Cadet Corps.
in the United States Naval Sea Cadet Corps.
I serve my country
I serve my country
and her people
and her people
with pride and honor.
with pride and honor.
I seek no special offers.
I seek no special offers.
I make things happen
I make things happen
and do the best I can do.
and do the best I can do.
I am charged with leadership,
I am charged with leadership,
role like no other in the world.
role like no other in the world.
I develop
I develop
and mold my cadets.
and mold my cadets.
I acknowledge full responsibility
I acknowledge full responsibility
for the actions of my cadets,
for the actions of my cadets,
because these cadets are the seeds
because these cadets are the seeds
of future Chief Petty Officers.
of future Chief Petty Officers.
I live by the Navy's core values
I live by the Navy's core values
of honor, courage, and commitment.
of honor, courage, and commitment.
I set the example.
I set the example.
I establish the standards of performance.
I establish the standards of performance.
My cadets are students,
My cadets are students,
and I am their teacher.
and I am their teacher.
I guide and influence
I guide and influence
the lives
the lives
of these young men and women.
of these young men and women.
In the final analysis,
In the final analysis,
I will determine
I will determine
the quality of these cadets.
the quality of these cadets.
They look up to me
They look up to me
because they treat them
because they treat them
with dignity and respect.
with dignity and respect.
Because they need a leader,
Because they need a leader,
I am there for them.
I am there for them.
After all,
After all,
I am a Chief Petty Officer
I am a Chief Petty Officer
in the United States Naval Sea Cadet Corps.
in the United States Naval Sea Cadet Corps.
Chiefs, please be seated. MSC Robert W. Smith, U.S. Navy retired, will now read the meaning of the fouled anchor.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me without this? Everybody hear me in the back?
Get it back.
Good, good. I don't like this. You know that. The fouled anchor is the emblem of the rank of the Chief Petty Officer in the United States Navy. Attached to the anchor is a length of chain and the letter U.S.N. To the novice, the anchor, chain, and letters only identify a Chief Petty Officer of the United States Navy. But to a chief, these have a more noble and glorious meaning. The U stands for unity, which reminds us of cooperation, maintaining harmony, and continuity of purpose and action. The S stands for service, which reminds us of service to our God, our country, and our fellow man. And the N stands for navigation, which reminds us to keep ourselves on a true course so that we may walk upright before God and man in our transitions and transactions with all mankind, but especially with our fellow chiefs. The chain is symbolic of flexibility and reminds us of the chain of life that we forge day by day, link by link. And it may be forged with honor, morality, and virtue. Finally, the anchor is emblematic of the hope and glory of the fulfillment of all God's promises to our souls. The golden or precious anchor by which we must be kept steadfast in faith and encouraged to abide in our proper station amidst the storm of temptation, affliction, and persecution. Thank you.
Will those who will pin Chief Selectee Davis with the Chief's insignia join the selectee in front? Chief Selectee Imani Davis will be pinned by her mother and father.
Come on up here and take that picture. Don't be back there. Get up here.
Don't be afraid. Special moment for her entire family. Her sponsor, Cadet Chief Jack Deal, Secret Retired Chief Erica Highland, is that me? Secret Chief Retired Machinist Mate 3rd Class Edward Chartier will now present her cover. By the script, Chief. I'm the MC. Sit down. It's him.
Don't move. Stand very still. You come around here, you can see where we're at too. Don't move.
I have it on.
Still.
I have mine on video,
Okay.
so you can take the pictures. Thank you.
Chris can't see her, can see his hand.
Come in on the step.
Right, I'm good.
There you go, that's looking good.
Hey, how you doing? Good job.
Commanding Officer, Lieutenant Commander Stephanie Highland will now read the certificate of promotion.
Chief Petty Officer appointment. To all who shall see these presents, greetings.
Greetings!
Know ye that, reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of Imani Davis, I do appoint Imani Davis to the rate of Chief Petty Officer in the Naval Sea Cadet Corps. To rate as such from, actually it was the 12th day of November in the year 2018. This appointee will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the rate to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunder pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require all personnel of lesser rate to render obedience to appropriate orders. And this appointee is to observe and follow such orders and directions as may be given from time to time by superiors acting in accordance with the articles governing the discipline of the Naval Sea Cadet Corps. Given under my hand and the seal of the Naval Sea Cadet Corps at National Headquarters, Arlington, Virginia, and he actually signed it on the 6th day of December in the year of our Lord 2018 by our Executive Director, Paul A. Zembernardi.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that we present to you the United States Naval Sea Cadet Corps' newest chief, Chief Petty Officer Imani Davis. I now introduce Chief Petty Officer Imani Davis to say her own words.
Mainly gonna thank my family and friends, especially my mom and my dad. I'll put y'all through a lot. But they definitely got me to where I am today. Very strict and made me do all my work. But and my friends too, especially to the ones that have been there since like the beginning, like movie dads, especially you with you.
Got you.
But they've all helped me definitely get here, especially in the office. He definitely helped me to look up to him, and even though he's, but still, yes, he's very tall. Me and him used to be the same height. I don't know what happened. But anyway, thank you, and I'm very excited. I can't talk, but.
I now introduce Master Chief Paul Dillon from the Association of the United States Navy.
It's a pleasure for me to stand before you this afternoon to recognize this new Chief Petty Officer for her accomplishments. We belong to the Association of the United States Navy. Jim Mosley on my right, Al Kinsel here, and Jim, you're going to read the first presentation, please.
Association of the United States Navy. The Association of the United States Navy takes great pleasure in recognizing Imani Davis for attaining the pinnacle rank of Chief Petty Officer of the Naval Sea Cadet Corps. Her determination and perseverance in in the attainment of this exemplary achievement has set her apart from her peers and bear true faith to the core values of the United States Navy: honor, courage, and commitment. This superb accomplishment depicts the strength of character so eagerly sought in our military and citizen leaders. Congratulations to Bravo Zulu Cadet Chief Petty Officer Imani Davis, 13 January 2019. Signed, Paul F. Dillon, RMCM, Paul F. Dillon, United States Navy, retired, President of the Association of the United States Navy, Nautilus Chapter, and Rear Admiral Christopher Cole, United States Navy, retired, National Executive Director of UASUN. Congratulations again.
We're going to do it afterwards. We also have a medal we'd like to present to you. And let me read the certificate. The Association of the United States Navy, to all who shall see these presents, greetings. Greetings. This is to certify that the Board of Directors of the Association of the United States Navy has awarded the Patriotism Medal to Cadet Chief Petty Officer Imani Davis for professionalism and patriotism forged by the Navy's core value of honor, courage, and commitment while serving in the Naval Sea Cadets. Well done. We want to get a photo after. Okay, after when you're done here. That's it. Thank you.
Now, as I said previously, we are an organization steeped in rich tradition. Nautilus 571 has our own tradition when it comes to pinning a new chief. Chief Petty Officer Jack Adil, would you please come forward and present Imani Davis with the passed down anchor? At this time, if there is anyone who would like to say a few words, please step forward.
Go back to December of 2011?
Yes.
2011, we're looking about that tall, about that big around. Now she's that tall, about that big around. Came in and said, I'm going to be the first to make chief. Right? Because we talked about the program, we talked about the future, we talked about the opportunities. She said, I'm going to be the first. And you know what I'm talking about when I said the first. I don't think I need to say anything else about that. She said, I'm going to be the first. So she worked her butt off. And sometimes she kind of strayed a little bit, Mom.
Yes.
Sometimes we had to rein her in together, right?
Yes.
Because it takes a village to raise a child. So we had a whole village involved. But you got here. And you got here, and you got here. And I'm extremely proud. And there was something that you said when you were reading. It's like you can't say, you don't get to recognize any of your accolades until you make chief. So now you can go, yes. 1, 2, 3. Yes. On behalf of the Rock CPOA, they gave this coin that they wanted to give to you. It says, forged from the deck plate, U.S. Navy Chiefs. Deck plate leadership. And that's what it's all about. Keep doing what you're doing, all right? Good job. I'm proud of you.
Would anyone else like to come forward and say some words of motivation to Chief Davis? You need some help getting up here, sir?
No, I'll hobble along.
Would you like the mic, sir?
I don't think I need it, but I'll Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. I spent 17 years this year in Navy Sea Cadet Corps. And I've watched young cadets and helped train young cadets. I'm the training officer. Achieve this type of a wonderful thing. And I'm trying not to cry. If you'll pardon me if I do. But when I see someone like her doing this, all I can say is thank you for letting me have a part of it. It was my pleasure and my honor.
It had to be a Davis.
Whoa. So my name is Staff Sergeant Bruce Pendleton, a retired Army. So I'm a little bit out of my element here. Right. So I remember also when Chief Davis came to the unit. She was Cadet Pound at the time. She's grown. And I'm gonna say something. Okay, so like I said, the Navy thing's a little bit out of my element. I want to say what she just put on her collar is an anchor. Let's think about the idea of an anchor and what that's actually used for. Right? When a vessel drops anchor, what does that anchor do? It holds you in place. It stops you from drifting one side or the other. All right? It keeps you steady. Use that anchor to keep yourself steady and to keep your shipmates steady. All right? It will keep you safe in the storm. Right? Keep you in that spot. When you have to lift that anchor and move, you take your shipmates with you. Right? They're relying on you. Right? And you and I have been through a lot. Right? Okay? We used to be neighbors. Okay? And I know things. All right? So stay the course. All right? We'll see that.
Would anybody else, mom, dad, friends, fellow cadets?
Yeah. You gotta go up.
Can I say it from here or do I
You
have to
certainly
come up?
may.
Can I say it from here or do I have to?
Of course.
Okay, hello everybody. Hello. I'm the cousin of Imani, and I just want to say, Imani, I am so proud, and I'm so glad for this services that's provided for the young ones here, because sometimes it's so hard to find things to keep their mind active and something that can steer them in the right way. I was just talking to this young mom here. She was saying that her son is just joining, he likes it. And this was something that they could do at a young age. Imani, I'm so proud that this is something for young women, not only men that can join in and have fun. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy that you was able to do this and keeps going forth. I'm so happy that my cousin had you in this program and that they kept you going the course. And I hope you keep moving forward. Thank you so much.
Any more comments, concerns, items of indigestion?
Yes, we're hungry.
Luke, do you have anything you want to say?
Not really, Chief. I'm not one for words. Yeah.
All right. I invite all Master Chiefs, Senior Chiefs, and Chiefs, Sea Cadet, and Real Service, to congratulate our newest Chief, followed by her family and friends.
Can we eat now?
I know, right?
Anybody else want to congratulate her?
No.
If you want.
This is not over yet, I still have something to say.
I can't say nothing. I'm recording.
Chief Davis, please come up and read the last page.
This concludes our pinning ceremony. Please join us for another Navy tradition, cake. Thank you all for coming. May God bless all present here, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Nautilus Fast